So friends, today we're going to make this beautiful cinnamon toast. It's a great breakfast item, or just whenever you're hungry and you just have some bread slices lying around, you can just make this beautiful snack. And it's super simple, gets ready within about 5 minutes, and it's super delicious. So let's see what all we require for this lovely cinnamon toast. So I've taken about 4 slices of bread, and I've taken about 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar, 1/4 cup of milk, 1 egg, and I've taken about a teaspoon of cinnamon powder. Now I'm going to be using 2 slices of bread at the moment. So the quantity that I'm using right now is just for 2 slices of bread, because I'm just making it for my son. So if you want to make more, then you just double the quantity of the eggs and the milk. Now I'm going to beat the egg and put it into this flat kind of bowl, or you can even use a plate. I've added the sugar. Now the sugar you can adjust, according to how sweet you want it, because we are going to drizzle some pancake syrup on the top and some chocolate syrup, and so just adjust the amount of sugar. Now I'm going to add the milk. Now we want a very thick kind of a consistency. We don't want a runny consistency. So it should be just like a very thick, kind of a batter. And now I'm going to add this cinnamon powder. Now this cinnamon powder, I've just taken some cinnamon sticks and just, in my mortar and pestle, just ground them to a very fine powder. It doesn't take more than 3 or 4 minutes to make the cinnamon powder, or you can use the ready-made bun. Now I'm going to mix everything well together so everything gets very well incorporated. That's very important. Now you could use regular sugar, but then icing sugar makes it much easier. You don't feel those granules of sugar in your mouth. So now I'm just going to cut the bread slices into half, because that makes it easier, you get, even size slices. I'm going to just soak these slices in this mixture for about, a minute or so, as my butter melts in the pan. Now I'm using a pan. I'm using this cast iron pan, but you can use any regular pan. I'm going with butter, so I'm using about a tablespoon of butter, but you can also use, coconut butter. You can use almond butter. You can go with olive oil, or even clarified butter or ghee. I wouldn't recommend using oil, but olive oil or butter, or that makes it more delicious. And now once my butter has melted, I'm just going to place these slices onto the butter, and I'm going to fry them really well on both sides. Keep your flame between low to medium, but we want to get this real golden brown and a crispy, crunchy kind of a toast. We don't want it to be soggy, we don't want it to be soft. So I actually timed it, and I saw that on each side you should keep it for at least about 3 minutes on each side on a low to medium flame. Do watch your toast, because every flame is different, every pan is different. So when you find that one side is nice and dark and golden brown and crispy, then you can turn it onto the other side. So it should look like it's still not done. I'm just turning it, but I will keep it again for another minute or so, because I really wanted to have that very crispy, crunchy effect. I don't want to go with soggy French, the cinnamon toast. So keep watching it, keep turning it, and the aroma is so amazing. Now you see that I've not added any vanilla essence, because if you add vanilla essence, then it will completely change the flavor of this toast. So that's why I'm going with cinnamon powder, because this is cinnamon toast and it has a beautiful flavor and taste. So now you can see that they have really crisped up, and they're really, really golden brown in color now. So this is what I'm looking for, a real nice toasty effect. And now once they're done, you're just going to transfer them onto the plate. And I would recommend having them nice and hot straight from the pan. Just drizzle some chocolate syrup and some pancake syrup, or whatever you like on your toast or your pancakes. Just add that. And I'm going to put some choco chips and some sliced up bananas. So give this a try, guys. It's simple and delicious. So let's see today's lovely spicy yam fritters or surnace cup. Now here I've soaked 1/4 cup of tamarind in 1 cup of water and set aside. Now we're going to take off the peel of the yam or the suran. Now one tip I'd like to give you here is just apply a little bit of oil on your hands before you start peeling, and after you start peeling just wash your hands really well with soap and water, because this peel can cause a little bit of itchiness in your hands. Now once you've done that, wash the suran thoroughly and then cut them into thin slices like this. Cut it into thin slices like this and put it into the tamarind water. So cut very thin slices. The thinner the slices are, the more tasty and crispy and crunchy it gets. Now I'm going to put all of this into my pressure pan along with the tamarind water. And now I'm going to pressure cook this for only 1 whistle on a high. So when the whistle goes off, just put the gas stop off or the heat off. Now I'm going to make the paste or the chutney for this yam fritter. So I've taken some green chilies, about I think 8 or 10 green chilies, because these are the light green chilies, so they're not really spicy. And I've taken about 10 to 12 cloves of garlic. Now the yam has been cooked. I've taken it out of the pressure pan and let it cool to room temperature. So now it's nice and soft also. Now we're just going to grind these green chilies and the garlic or the lasoon into a very coarse paste. I'm also going to add salt to taste. This helps in getting a nice coarse paste also. So just grind this and you'll get a paste like this. Transfer this paste to a bowl. Now I'm going to make a mixture of rice flour, that is half a cup of rice flour, tandoorats peat, and I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of fine rava or semolina. Mix these two really together. This is going to be our coating for the yam fritters or the surnace cup. Now I'm going to apply this green paste on both sides of the cooked yam. And just dip it into this flour and rava mixture and set it aside. Now, because we just cooked it for 1 whistle in the pressure pan, it doesn't become very soft. If you cook it for a very long time, then the suran becomes very, very mushy, and you are not able to, it's not firm like this. So the trick is to cook it just for 1 whistle on high. And also we cook it along with the tamarind because it takes out the itchiness that this suran or this yam generally has. I just thought I'd pop in and let you know about my Amazon storefront. Go and check it out. The link is down in the description box below. It's products that I generally buy on Amazon or I would recommend with regard to best prices and good quality. So go and check out the link. Now I'm just going to heat some oil in a pan, and I like to use my dosa tawa because it's flat. It really, helps to get these surans nice and golden brown and crispy. And then once the oil is hot, I'm just going to place them on the tawa, and I'm going to fry them, shallow fry them till they're nice and golden brown on both sides. So you can cook it on between low and medium heat. And once they're golden brown in color on one side, just turn them over and cook the other side. You might have to do this 2 or 3 times because you want to get them nice and crispy and golden brown. Now these are an ideal, it's an accompaniment to any, any dish that you have for lunch or dinner, or you can even have them all by themselves. They're really delicious, but I love to have them with some varan bhaat. They make an ideal accompaniment to varan bhaat. So I hope you give this recipe a try, guys. It's super, super delicious. To make these beautiful keema cutlets. Now here I've taken 450 grams of chicken mince or keema. You can take any meat like beef or mutton. Then I've washed it very well under running water. Then I've heated about a tablespoon of oil and I've added the chicken to it, and I'm going to fry it well till it changes its color. Then I'm going to add some ginger garlic paste. Now all the measurements of all the ingredients are going to be in the description box below. I've also added some pepper powder, some turmeric or haldi powder, salt, and given all of this a nice mix. Then I'm going to turn off the flame and just add the juice of half a lemon. And then I'm going to transfer this to a mixing bowl and let the mixture come to room temperature. Now I'm going to add some coriander powder, I'm going to add some jeera powder and some bread pieces or slices of bread just broken up into small pieces. Then I'm going to heat about half a tablespoon of oil and fry some green chilies and some onions, which have both been cut very fine. We're going to fry this till the onions become translucent, add it to the mixture, add some freshly chopped coriander and 1 egg. Then you can also add some salt to taste and mix the mixture like this. Then we're going to take some breadcrumbs. I'm going to tell you how to make some breadcrumbs at home if you don't have any breadcrumbs. And then you're just going to shape it up into cutlets, or you can even make croquets. And then you're just going to dip it into the breadcrumbs and shape it up well. Also keep about 2 tablespoons of oil heating in a frying pan to fry these cutlets. Now you can make all the cutlets and store them and fry them whenever you feel like. They stay in your refrigerator for about 2 to 3 days. Or you can freeze them in your freezer. They stay for about a week, and then just thaw them and fry them whenever you require. Now, even if you don't have some chicken keema at hand, you can just take some boneless chicken breast and mince it really, really fine and use it for this recipe too. And then all we have to do is just put it in the oil and fry it on a low to medium flame till they're nice and golden brown and crispy. So this is how they look, and you can make, put them in some pav or some burger breads, or just have them all by themselves, or have them with some plain pulao. They're really very delicious, and they're so simple and easy to make. Now, to make your breadcrumbs at home, what I did is I had quite a bit of bread slices, the top and the bottom of most of the bread slices that we always retain for us to make soup cubes or whatever. Just toast them till they become nice and dark brown, and then just put them in your blender and blend them to a very fine powder. You can also put them in a paper bag, on a plastic bag or a paper bag, and just make them nice and fine. Now the other way is, if you have some pav at home also, you can sun dry the pav for about 2 to 3 days, and then you can make the grind it up in a mortar and pestle, or you can also grind them in your blender. Yes. So it comes in a roll like this, for those of you who are new to Goa sausages. So it has a casing, Now, some people like to retain the casing when they're preparing the sausage pulao or rice or the chili fry, but I prefer removing the casing. So, if you want to keep the casing on, it's absolutely fine. So, now what I'm doing is I'm just taking a sharp pair of scissors and I'm just going to cut off the casing. It's very simple to do. If you do it on the outer side of the sausage like this, and then I'm just going to collect all the meat, uh, the sausage part, and just keep it aside in the bowl. Now, if you see, I've kept a butter paper on my cutting board. That's because sometimes the sausages have a very strong red color, and that sometimes stains your cutting board, and it takes a long time to go off. So, if you can just keep a paper or a tissue or a napkin with the paper. I mean, with the sausages on the paper, so that way it won't discolor your cutting board. Now, Goa sausages are available in selected places. Now, if you go to Bandra, you will definitely get it in many, many places. Otherwise, in places mostly like Borivali, Bandra, Mahim, you will get them in selected stores. And I guess they are available online too. So today I'm going to be preparing this Goa sausage chili fry as well as the sausage rice or pulao. Now I'm preparing a very small quantity, just enough for 2 people because I'm using just a little bit of Goa sausage. So I'm just using about a quarter kilo packet. So if you want to make it, for a larger, for more people, then you just have to double the quantity, use half a kilo or 1 kilo, and just double the quantity of everything. If you want to make it for 4 people, you want to make it for 8 people, then just increase the quantity as per the recipe. So now I've just I'm just going to chop the sausages into bite-sized pieces. So you can cut them as to whatever size you like. I'm just keeping them for about, I think, 1 inch thickness. Chorizo rice, or you can also call it sausage pulao. It's just beautiful and delicious and very, very flavorsome. So let's see how we prepare this recipe. It's super simple and it has very, very few ingredients, as you'll see now. So this is a little bit of the sausages that I retained for the pulao. I have about 2 medium-sized onions chopped, 1 cup of rice that I've washed and soaked, and a few spices, which I list down in the ingredients below, and some turmeric powder. Now here I have some clarified butter or ghee. Now I like to always make my pulaus or, flavored rice in ghee because it really enhances the flavor of the dish. So I've roughly taken about 1.5 tablespoon of ghee. To that, I'm going to add my whole spices. Now, in my whole spices, I have an inch of cinnamon. Then I have about 2 elaichis or cardamoms. I have about 6 peppercorns and about 4 or 5 cloves. That's all that you require for this pulao. Now we're going to let this fry a little bit in the ghee because we want to flavor the ghee with these wholesome spices. Now I'm going to add my onions and I'm going to fry the onions till they become translucent. Now most of the pulaus When you make them in ghee, they have just a different flavor of their own. So now that our onions are nice and fried, to that I'm going to be adding my chopped up chorizo or Goan sausages. And I'm going to fry these well too. Now I'm going to add a little bit of turmeric powder or haldi powder because the lovely yellow color. Now if you want to go with the white color, then just skip this step. Again, mix everything well together so that the haldi powder or the turmeric also coats all of the mixture well. And now that the rice that I've taken, I've just washed it well thrice, soaked it for about 15 minutes in some water. I'm going to drain off all the water and I'm going to add this rice now to this mixture. Now just give everything a good mix. Again, do not add any salt because the sausages do have salt in them. However, if you feel afterwards that you do require to add a little bit of salt, so just before the rice is about ready, you can add a little bit of salt to the rice, but I'm not adding any salt. And now I'm going to add exactly 2 cups of water, that is double the quantity of the rice that I've used. Now just give everything a mix, and then we're going to put the flame on high and we're going to let the water start to boil. So whenever I make any kind of pulaus, I always use double the quantity of water to the rice, and that gives you the perfect consistency of the rice. You don't get it very raw, or you don't get it extra soft. So once our water does come to a boil, then we're just going to cover it, lower our flame to low to medium or even to extremely low, and let the rice cook till all of the water evaporates. And once that is done also, you just mix all the rice together and then turn off the heat, but keep your vessel covered for another 5 minutes. That way your rice will, cook in the remaining heat and it turns out just perfect. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Akshata's Recipes. Thank you so much for stopping by today. So today I have made a lovely Goan tea time snack that is made with some leftover pav. Now it shouldn't be too stale, but just about a day old maybe. So I made this kind of a French toast, but it is the Goan style. This is how my mom used to make it for evening tea. So you can see that the bread is so nice and crispy. It's been caramelized on both sides, and I've just sprinkled it with a little bit of powdered sugar. So without much further ado, let's watch the recipe and then I'll meet you at the other side for some important tips. So let's start with today's lovely recipe. Now here I'm taking 4 pavs, which are just about a day old. You can use fresh pav too, or you can even use slices of bread, but the taste of pav has its own unique taste. Now I'm going to use a serrated knife. This helps in getting really even slices or pieces, and I'm going to cut them into 2 equal halves, and then I'm just going to spread them out and flatten them a bit. So do this with all of the pieces. And now here I've taken 1 egg. I'm going to add it to my mixing bowl. Using a fork or a whisk, I'm going to beat this egg really well till we can only see the yellow of the egg or the yolk of the egg. So beat that really well. Now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. You can substitute this with some cardamom or elaichi powder if you don't have vanilla essence, or if you don't want to use vanilla essence. Mix the 2 ingredients really well together. Now I'm going to use half a cup of milk. Again, mix everything really well. I'm going to add a pinch of salt. I generally always add, a little salt to a dessert and a little sugar to a savory dish. It just brings out the flavor, elevates the flavor of the dish. So mix all these 3 ingredients really well together. And now I'm going to add half a cup of powdered sugar. And I'm going to retain about a teaspoon or so for dusting on top, which is optional. Now you're going to mix this till all of the sugar is dissolved. Now we're going to soak all these pieces of bread in this milk mixture. So just soak them really well for about half a minute or so. And then you're just going to drain all the excess. Don't press the bread, just drain the excess. Don't squeeze the liquid out, just drain all the milk which is there, the excess, and place it on another plate. We want this bread to be soaked with all of this lovely milk mixture. So don't squeeze it out, just take out the excess and then put it in another plate. So do this with all of the pieces of bread, and if there is any milk mixture left, just pour it over the bread. We want to use all of that milk mixture because all the flavor is there in that milk mixture. And then I'm just going to heat about a teaspoon and a half of butter. You can also use ghee. I prefer using ghee rather than butter. And then just swirl it around in your pan so that it coats the pan evenly. And then we're just going to place the pieces. And we're going to nicely fry this till they're nice and golden brown on both sides. So once the edges start becoming golden brown in color, you're just going to turn it on the other side and press it down and fry it till it's nice and crispy. So we're looking for this lovely crispy texture. The sugar helps to caramelize the top and the bottom. That way it really tastes amazing and crunchy and crispy. So in this way, fry all of them. And once they're done, just transfer them to a plate and fry the remaining in the same way. This is one of my favorite tea time snacks. Of course, I don't have it on a regular basis. I just indulge in it once in a way. But it's really, really delicious. And now for presentation, we're going to put them on a beautiful serving plate. And then just to make it a little pretty, we're going to just dust some powdered sugar. Like I said, this is completely optional, but it looks very pretty and it tastes amazing. So give this a try, guys. Wasn't that a real easy recipe? Sometimes you just have some extra pav left over at home and you don't know what to do with it. So this is one great idea. This goes very well as an evening tea time snack. So some of the points that you have to keep in mind for this recipe. First thing is that don't use very stale bread that is actually, almost started to crumble. I don't think that would be a nice idea. So maximum a day's old bread, like you buy some bread at home and it's just lying there for about over just a day, use that bread. Don't use too much of an old bread. What you can do with that is, with very old pav, is just sun dry it. If you have a balcony or your window gets a lot of sunlight, or if you can keep it on your terrace, then dry it up completely and then just make it into breadcrumbs. That's the easiest way to use old bread. But this toast that I've made, or the evening tea time snack, is from just a day old bread that you buy it, say, yesterday evening, and you're making it today, maximum today. So that's one point to keep in mind. Second point is that, get crispy, let it soak in that mixture that I made with the milk and the sugar and the vanilla and the egg. Let it soak for at least 2 to 3 minutes, not too much, then it will, completely disintegrate. So just about 2 minutes, and then nicely put a lot of either ghee. If you want to go the healthy way, then use ghee, or use butter, but use a little less butter. You can use a mixture of the two, and then let it caramelize really nicely till you get this lovely, crispy top. So if you see this top, it's so crispy. Let me see if you can hear the sound. So it's nice and crispy. So that's what I'm looking for. That is why the sugar, has to be, you use powdered sugar so that it nicely coats the bread. And when you put it into the ghee or the butter, it gives a nice crispy top. So the top is crispy, the bottom is crispy, and the inside is nice and soft, but not very soft, but it's just right. And then I've just sprinkled a little bit of sugar on top, but then otherwise you can skip that part. You can even add some honey, you can add some pancake syrup, and this is a lovely, lovely tea time snack. Even if you have guests over suddenly, this is a lovely tea time snack. So you know what you have to do now. If you like this recipe, then hit the thumbs up icon that you see below this video. Don't forget to give me those thumbs up. I need those thumbs ups. And also do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit the red subscribe button, and once you have subscribed, click on the notification bell, click on all. That way whenever I put up a new recipe, you'll get a message for the same. So thank you guys so much for watching all my videos. Thank you so much for the support you are giving me by watching my videos, leaving your feedback. It means the world to me. And I'll catch you soon with many more recipes. Take care of yourselves, stay healthy, stay fit, be loving and kind to one another. Till we meet again, this is Akshata signing off. Bye.
to add 1/4 cup of hot water, water that you can handle hot to warm, and you have to just keep on adding a little water at a time. So I used about 1/4 cup and just knead this to a very firm kind of dough. So I'm showing you one jowar bhakri. So a bhakri is generally much bigger than a roti. So I've used about 1/4 cup of hot water. I've just microwaved the water. You can also boil it on a stove top. And now the main thing is that you knead the dough really well. And now you're going to dust your surface with some of the same jowar flour and knead it again, rolling it between the palms of your hands to make a very smooth ball so that it doesn't have any cracks in it and the bhakri will come out smooth. And now with your rolling pin, gently roll the bhakri into a nice round circle as thin as possible. Keep your pan to heat up on a low to medium and then just place your bhakri. And now you have to apply some of that same hot water, which has now become warm, of course, onto the bhakri. Now I like to use this silicone brush. You can also do it with your hands, but I find it with the brush I can do it very evenly and there's no excess water. Now you have to roast this till all the water on the top gets dried. So honestly, it takes about half a minute on a low to medium flame. So you'll see that the top of all the water has gone away. So now you turn it over, and now using some tongs or a pincer, you're just going to roast it directly on the flame. So your bhakri will nicely swell up like a fulka. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It all depends on the type of atta that you're using. And then just apply some ghee, and this is a real healthy way of eating.
So let's see today's lovely recipe of jelly and custard cups. Now first we're going to set the jelly, which happens really quickly. Now all I've done is I've taken the jelly packet, and that they have two powders, and you just have to mix these powders really well. And then I'm using half a liter of 500 ml of water. Now one powder is, depending on the flavor you've taken. So I'm using raspberry. I've just mixed the powders really well. Now I'm going to add half a liter of water to a pan, and I'm going to bring this to a gentle boil, and then I'm going to add this powder mix to the pan. Look at the beautiful color. Immediately the water gets a beautiful color, and you're just going to stir the powder really well because you want it to get nicely mixed up with the water. And then you're just going to stir this for about 2 to 3 minutes till the mixture thickens. And then I'm just going to transfer them into these little glasses, or you can even use bowls. And then we're just going to refrigerate this for about half an hour or even 15 minutes. The jelly gets set very fast. So you can refrigerate this for 15 minutes or for half an hour. Basically, we just want the jelly to be nice and set so we can pour the custard on top of it. And now we're going to make the custard. So for that, again, I've taken a packet of custard and I'm going to be using 2.5 tablespoons of custard powder. To that, I'm going to be adding 125 ml of milk, and I'm going to stir it in well till we get a nice smooth paste. Now I'm using the vanilla flavor of custard. That goes really well with, if you're using raspberry jelly or strawberry jelly. My jelly, I'm using the raspberry flavor. Now I'm going to add 375 milliliters of milk, and I'm going to add 50 grams or 4 tablespoons of powdered sugar to the milk, and I'm going to stir this really well and bring it to a gentle boil. So see that all of the sugar really gets nicely dissolved in the milk. And now I'm going to add this custard powder and milk paste that we just prepared to this, and we're going to keep stirring till the mixture thickens. Now it thickens really fast. Within about 2 to 3 minutes, your mixture will be really thick, and it will start coating the sides of your spoon or spatula. That means it's ready, so you can turn off the heat. see it actually coats the sides of the spoon. And now we're first going to check whether the jelly is set. So you can see that the jelly is nice and set. And so now we're just going to pour this custard on top of the jelly. Please ensure that your jelly is set, otherwise the custard will go right through the jelly and you won't get this lovely, jelly and custard look that we're going for. So now just pour this on top of the jelly. And once that is done, just going to tap the tray a bit so that it evens out everything. And I've just put the glasses in this small little tray. That way they all, you can put it in your refrigerator very easily. And now I'm going to refrigerate this for 30 minutes till the custard sets nicely. And after 30 minutes, I'm just going to garnish this with some lovely chopped almonds. You can use pistachios or cashew nuts just to make it look a little more festive and pretty. And that's it, friends. Your lovely jelly and custard cups are all ready to enjoy, and they are best when they are really, really nice and chill. So leave them in your refrigerator for at least an hour or two. And when they're nice and chill, you can just enjoy this beautiful dessert. And they, you just scoop it up like this so you get the jelly and the custard together. It's really, really amazing.